The scrum. The scrum creates a tunnel into which a scrum half throws in the ball so that front row players can compete for possession. The forces generated in a scrum can be considerable, and it's therefore imperative that all players understand the correct techniques for their position. Before the match, all referees should speak to front row forwards and scrum halves to explain the sequence of the engagement process.
I will say the words for engagements: crouch, touch, pause and engage. So I will say crouch as you're setting up, okay? I'll go touch next. And when I say touch, I want to touch in the shoulder. Okay, so reach out, touch the shoulder, not in the arms. Okay, so to make sure the distance is correct between the two front rows for safety. And then I'd like you to withdraw. Okay, so be a clear pause, and then I'll say engage. So it's very important that you engage when I say the word engage and not before. Is that fair enough? The timing of it would be crouch, touch, pause, engage. So as you're setting up, if you do not feel that you're safe, you let me know and I'll blow the whistle and we'll reset and perform again. Just make sure there's no movement before the ball comes in. So I'd like you square and steady and just wait for the ball to leave the scrum half's hands, and then you can go on.
Scrum warm-up activities. Horse and jockey. Here we see a series of games which prepare players to play in the scrum. Touch rugby with 1 versus 1 scrums. Touch rugby with 2 versus 2 scrums.
2v2. Your foot, not your hand.
Touch rugby with 3 versus 3 scrums. Scrum warm-up activities and posture in the scrum. Proper technique should be thoroughly practiced, as engaging in a scrum without this can cause severe injury. Keep a straight back, bend the knees and keep the shoulders straight, as illustrated by the player on the left. A poor technique, as demonstrated by the player on the right, will result in a player having his head and shoulders below the hips and shoulders that aren't square. The scrum engagement technique can be practiced on a scrum machine or by the appropriate players who will be involved in scrimmaging during a game. Players in the front should keep a stable base and their feet shoulder width apart. And bend at knees and hips. Shoulders should be kept above hips at all times. Players should also keep a straight, flat back. Keep the chin off the chest and look through the eyebrows. The scrum engagement technique. The front row should bind firmly and continuously throughout, and keep their eyes firmly on the target. To improve technique in a safe manner, it's best to progress from 1 to 3 to 5 to 8 player scrums, if possible using a referee. Getting the timing, binding and posture right throughout the scrum engagement sequence are key principles of competitive and safe scrummaging.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage. There's your mark.
In a contested scrum, a loose head prop uses the left arm to bind onto the back or side of the opposing tight head prop's jersey. The tight head prop binds onto the opposing loose head prop's jersey using the right arm. Props must not exert downward pressure, and no player other than a prop may hold an opponent. All players bind firmly and in accordance with the laws throughout and until the scrum is complete.
Touch, pause, engage.